Joining me now is Marjorie Dannenfelser, president of the pro-life organization, the Susan B. Anthony list. Marjorie, great to see you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Such a pleasure, always.
Oh, we love having you on. And as we heard, Eric said that your organization did sponsor the event that Vice President Pence was speaking at. We saw you there on that video. Tell us a little bit more about that, and also why former Vice President Mike Pence is really a wonderful voice for the pro-life movement.
Well, it's really important in this particular moment, moving into the Dobbs oral arguments, which will culminate in June or July in a decision, that elected officials at the highest offices are speaking out. It is very hard, as you well know, to get through the mainstream media the voice of reason and truth. And so one of the best things you can do is get future presidential candidates, current governors, the heads of political committees, all sorts of people that already have a great audience to be speaking out and saying what they think is important. But Vice President Pence is far and away I would say, on the national level, the best communicator on this issue. It is so in his heart and soul. It's the trajectory of his career. It's how he began when he ran for Congress. It's how he explained to his kids with his wife why he was getting involved in politics in the first place. There's really no one who knows more in such deep and wide ways the soul of America and how it's been scarred by abortion, but then also the way out. And his administration, of course, with President Trump, was the pathway for allowing 3 Supreme Court justices who will hear this case, that will go to directly at the heart of Roe and the question of viability and whether there will be any limits on abortion pre-viability considered constitutional by this court.
Yeah, and what an important conversation to have, as you say, on this eve of the big Supreme Court oral arguments taking place tomorrow. Again, let's talk a little bit more about that and explain to folks who maybe don't really understand the Dobbs case what really is at the heart of this.
Sure. What this is a law that was passed in Mississippi, signed by the governor. It's a 15-week limit on abortion. There are many such laws all around the country. In fact, 100 limits on abortion have been passed just this year. Well, the court agreed to take up just this case. It is very clear that it is pre-viability, the 15-week limit. And the court said, we will consider only one question. And the question is any pre-viability abortion limit constitutional? Now, if they say yes, and if we will hear the yes or the no in June or July of next year, if they say yes, that demolishes Roe versus Wade, because that's at the heart of what's left of the Roe versus Wade decision. If that happens, and if it's demolished or even just curtailed or undermined, that means that decision-making goes back to the states. It does not limit abortion in itself, this decision. It's just a transference of power from the Supreme Court, who made that decision for everyone, that there could be no limit, to giving it back to the states so that they can decide. Dobbs oral arguments tomorrow are just all about the argument pro and con, 1 hour of conversation, debate on both sides, where each side is communicating to the Supreme Court justices its view. So the Attorney General of Mississippi and the Solicitor General will make their case that Roe v. Wade should be overturned, and the attorneys for the other side will give their argument that it should be maintained, that women depend upon it for their lives, and that it has been a beautiful blessing for the country.
Marjorie, we have heard time and time again that Roe is settled law. How hopeful are you that it will be overturned?
Clearly, it's not settled law. Clearly, in 1973, when the court took over legislators' ability to enact the will of the people into the law, state by state or on the federal level, when the court usurped that position, it incited debate. It caused more political rifts. Even Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who died recently on the Supreme Court, said that this caused more problems than it actually resolved. It is simply not settled. 100 bills have passed and been signed into law this year that are just a moot point. There are limits on abortion that this Supreme Court decision in Roe versus Wade won't allow to go into effect. And so we're really going from this theoretical debate, where we debate, we never give up. We pray, we litigate, we pass laws, we pray, we serve women, we do all those things. It's gone from a theoretical legal limit now to something that really potentially will have teeth if Doe versus Bolton overturns Roe versus Wade, because that's when a 15-week limit would actually be enacted in the country now, perhaps across many, many, many states, but hopefully more than just a 15-week limit. We'll just have to see what the court says in June or July.
Well, Marjorie, thank you so much for taking the time. We know you are very busy today, so thanks for being with us, and, and thank you for all you do to protect life.
Same back to you and everybody who's watching.
Thank you so much, Marjorie.